Right? Okay, students, welcome to next session of the class. This is Gayatri. Now, micronutrients. See, these all are micronutrients. In our last class, we have discussed about macronutrients, how important they are. What is the each and every macronutrient importance? What is the importance we have discussed? Now, we are going to discuss about micronutrients. Here, boron, manganese, zinc, molybdenum, copper, cobalt. These all are used as a micronutrients. In a minute form, we use all these. In previous session, we have discussed about macronutrients. In a high quantity, we use those all. Okay. They all are playing a major role and they utilize more for during um, plant tissue culture development. That's why we use them in high quantity. These are very essential and important. Even though these are essential, but we use the minimum quantity. The minimum quantity of them are enough. That's why these are named as micronutrients. Okay. See here in last point, concentration is always in micromolar. We use here micromolar. So there we use mg micrograms, right? See, zinc, the importance of zinc. Why we compulsory use zinc in plant tissue culture medium is zinc plays an active role in protein synthesis and in the synthesis of tryptophan. See here the importance of zinc. Tryptophan synthesis, which is participating in the synthesis of a tryptophan. That's why it is playing a major role in plant tissue culture. Supplied as a zinc sulfate. How? What is the form of supplement? In the form of zinc sulfate, we supply zinc to our nutrient medium. Then, what is manganese? What is the importance of manganese in plant tissue culture is play an important role in Hill reaction of the photosynthesis required in many enzymatic activities supplied as a manganese sulfate. Here, for all majority of the enzymatic activities, manganese playing a major role. Enzymes are very necessary for the proper development of the plant tissue culture. That's why we compulsory use manganese in plant tissue culture medium. In the form of what is the supplement form? In the form of manganese sulfate, we supply this to tissue culture medium. Then coming to copper, copper plays an important role in photosynthesis, intermediate of electron transport chain. It is a very essential between photosynthesis, photosystem 1 and 2. Deficiency leads to decrease in photosynthesis. If photosynthesis decreases, there is no cellular and tissue development occurs in the tissue culture. If you place a tissue culture on the medium, tissue on the medium, tissue need to develop. It has to develop as a undifferentiated cell mass like a callus and all. From the callus, it has to develop into a different shoot, root, etc. and etc. Right now, so photosynthesis is very must for the development of the tissue in tissue culture process. Then we supply copper in the form of copper sulfate. Then molybdenum, essential for conversion of nitrate to ammonium. It is a very important. If nitrate not converts into ammonium, there is no synthesis of a protein. Am I right? If a cell want to synthesize a protein, it need amino acids. Okay, if amino acids are synthesized, amino acids are involving in the protein synthesis and they form a protein. They synthesize a protein. So for that, it is very essential for nitrates to ammonia conversion. So this molybdenum we supply as a sodium molybdate form. In the form of sodium molybdate, we supply to our plant tissue culture medium. Then coming to boron, it involves in different enzymatic activities supplied as a boric acid, the very essential component. We in the preparation of plant tissue culture medium, we supply boron. Then iron, important enzyme cofactor, supplied in micromolar quantities. It is supplement with a chelator and a complex compound due to its solubility problem. Supplied as Na2FeEDTA, sodium iron composition in the form of sodium with the combination of sodium and iron, we supply EDTA. Okay, so this is the role of iron. Iron deficiency have some effect on the growth and development of plant cell. If there is no development in the plant cells, there is no callus formation. If there is no callus formation, there is no development in the shoots, roots, and etc. and etc. So the tissue culture practical may be getting failure. That's why it is a very essential component. That's why we need to supply iron must in the nutrient medium. Then coming to organic nutrients, there are vitamins. Plant synthesis required vitamins, essential for many biochemical reactions. Vital, vitamins means vital amines. Vital means very important. Okay, that's why these are called as vitamins, essential for many biochemical reactions. Cultured cells are capable to produce the vitamin at some level. They require an exogenous supply of different vitamins for optimum growth. Most useful vitamins are thiamine, pyridoxine, nicotinic acid, B complex vitamin. These all are essential vitamins in tissue culture medium. So we need to supply always all these vitamins. Okay, this is the major important role of vitamins in the tissue culture medium. Then hexitols. Most tissue culture media have this compound essential for seed germination, sugar transport, carbohydrate metabolism, membrane structure, and cell wall formation. Mannitol and sorbitol are hexitols. We use a mannitol. Usually, we use mannitol. Sorry, we use mannitol as a hexitol. What is the role of that mannitol in tissue culture medium or tissue culture metabolic activities? Means they deeply involved in seed germination, sugar transportation, carbohydrate metabolism, membrane structure, and cell wall formation. This is cell wall formation is very, very essential in the tissue culture. That's why we must use a mannitol in the tissue culture medium. Then coming to amino acids, glycine is the most common amino acid used in different culture media. It is not essential, but nitrogen containing amino acid enhance growth and plant regeneration. It is very, very, very important. Regeneration. Regeneration means when you provide a tissue, from that tissue, there is a synthesis of new and advanced cells. There are many new cell synthesis. Those new cells are converted into different organogenesis takes place from that new cells. Those are called as what I said now, regenerated cells, right? Okay. Then coming to carbohydrate, cells and tissue, cells and tissue reduce exogenous supply of carbohydrates to replace the carbon, which the plant normally fixes from the atmosphere by photosynthesis, supplied by adding sucrose. See, sucrose, a lot of amount of sucrose we use in the tissue culture medium. Okay, this is used, remaining all are milligrams and micrograms we supply in the form, in the quantity of milli and micrograms. But whereas sucrose we supply 20 to 30 grams per liter, not as a milligrams, not as a micrograms. Okay, we use a huge amount of sucrose in the tissue culture medium. Then gelling agents, agar agar. Gels, you know very well. This is not any nutritional supplement which is used to give a jelliness to the medium. Agar is a natural product of seaweeds. From algae, we synthesize agar. Then since 1658, agar agar is obtained from red algae. He is the scientist, Gelidium gracilaria. He is the scientist who has developed this agar agar. Previously, gelatin was using. it was under the usage of the all the jellies preparation. Later, after his invention of agar agar from red algae, it is a widespreading useful uh, gelatinous agent. Then, with water, it melts at 100 degrees Celsius and solidifies at 45 degrees Celsius. Then, coming to agarose, it is a highly purified agar prepared from Gelidium species of seaweed. Agarose melt and gel at temperature below 30 degrees Celsius and dissolve through boiling. Agarose is much more expensive than agar agar. That's why preferably we use agarose in a rooting medium, not general shooting and general medium. Okay, we use agarose in rooting medium. Okay, because it is expensive and it will give you a clear gels. That's why it is comfortable for the observation of the root synthesis in the medium. That's why we prefer agarose in rooting medium. Then gelrite or phytazole. Gelrite is a naturally derived polymer and produced by the microbial fermentations of Bacterium Pseudomonas elodea. It is a low-cost gelling agent, 0.1 to 0.2% concentration per liter required. Here it is per. Correct that per per. Then this is natural medium. Up to now, we have discussed artificial medium by using complete chemicals. By using the chemicals we have prepared. Then now this is natural medium. Endosperm fluid or coconut milk from coconut fruit materials like orange juice, tomato juice, banana pulp, potato extract from potato, extracts of malt yeast from malt and yeast, animal extracts from fish emulsion, protein hydrolysates from casein hydrate peptone. Okay, from all these natural sources, we can prepare natural medium also, but it is somewhat tough and difficult for the isolation also. It takes a lot of time. That's why we majority of the laboratories they use only the artificial medium for the plant tissue culture. Then plant growth regulators. Okay, we have just coming into the very essential part. Without plant growth regulators, if you prepare a medium, you don't find out any development in the tissue. Whereas you provide a healthy and young tissue also, you can't find out any development over there because these all are growth regulators. These are hormones. We need to provide them. A plant hormone can be defined as a small organic molecule that elicits a physiological response at a very low concentration. Elicits means release out. Okay. Plant growth regulators play an important role in the phenotype, act as a messenger between environment and the genome. Okay, this is very essential part. These are several types of hormones are there. Growth regulators are there. Coming to auxins, essential for cell division, cell elongation, cell differentiation, organogenesis, and embryogenesis, callus formation. That's why we use all the auxins. Here, see where you find A, that is auxin. Natural form of auxins are IAA, IBA, PAA. Synthetic form of auxins are NAA and 2,4-D. These all are different types of auxins we use in tissue culture medium preparation for the motivation of the tissues for its development. Then coming to cytokinins. Cytokinins promote cell division, shoot proliferation, and influence the cell cycle. Then embryogenesis and inhibit the root formation also. Here, see, auxins, they promote root formation. Here, cytokinins, they inhibit root formation. They majorly they concentrate or focus on shooting only. Okay, shoot proliferation. They concentrate on shoot proliferation only. Then influence the cell cycle. Synthetic form of 2IP, which is the most active cytokinin. Natural forms are BAP and kinetin. These both are the natural forms of cytokinins. Then coming to gibberellins, it promotes stem elongation, bulb comb formation, and embryo maturation, but can inhibit callus growth and root induction. Okay, they inhibit callus growth. Here, you remember what is your aim. Accordingly, you need to select the hormones. Okay, some of the hormones they inhibit roots. Some of the hormones they inhibit shoots. Some of the hormones they inhibit callus. That's why, according to your aim, you need to select your growth regulators. GA3 is most common gibberellin. Then acetic acid, abscisic acid, it inhibits shoot growth and germination of embryo. It is thermostable but light sensitive. So when you use abscisic acid in the medium, you have to concentrate on a light source. Okay, where it is as it is light sensitive, you need to you need to give a dark environment over there. Then coming to pH of tissue culture media, pH is adjusted in between 5 and 5.8. You need to maintain acidic pH for the tissue culture medium before gelling and sterilization with the help of dilute NaOH or KOH or HCl. Okay, you need to adjust your pH in between 5 and 5.8. pH below 5 will not gel properly. Okay, lower most acidic nature of the medium is not supporting for the gel formation. pH above 6 may be too hard. Okay, you can't place your tissue on the medium. That much hard it will become due to its high concentration of the pH. Low concentrations are in the form of liquid only. Okay, this is about pH of culture medium. See all the temperature conditions, pH conditions, and all your laboratory general needs we have already discussed in our earlier classes. Like that, you need to maintain the tissue culture tissue culture laboratory. Afterwards, these all are the components you need for that tissue culture medium preparation. By the preparation of with this composition, you will get a proper tissue culture medium. Later, after that, how many types of tissue cultures are there? By following all those types, how many types of how you will get your results and all we will discuss later. Up to now, this is our topic. Okay, students, thanks a lot.